So this one's also all thumb, and kind of the same idea except a different open strings.
Yeah, I like that with the all thumb Yeah, I like that.
It's so easy to play.
Yeah, I like
Which is
just
what I
playing
like
with
about
those graces. I really do. That's a nice sound right in there.
Yeah, it's hard because it gets softer as you go up, and the open string is so loud. But you want to keep the emphasis on that, you know. So you have to keep putting an accent on it.
Yeah.
And it gets a little twangy. Does yours do that too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Up there, it's really a different kind of timbre than
Yeah.
it doesn't sing quite as
Oh, and that's what I started trying to do vibrato. It was throwing me off though, but I feel like that would be nice in this one too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. One of the things about the vibrato, the nylon string kind of vibrato, is you want to think in terms of the trick that I always tell people is, let's say we want a vibrato across the 5th fret here. You move your hand, maybe 4th fret and 6th fret. So you're moving back and forth, and you can see to do that efficiently, you need to have your thumb away from the back of the neck.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so it really moves through the whole fret?
Well, that's what you're doing there is you're getting the motion. See that?
So
You're learning the motion, and
But
then
it's
what
not
you
that
might do
big,
after that,
yeah.
if you're going from 4/6, 4/6, 4/6, 4/6, come back and go between the frets like that, and feel how it feels in a smaller area.
Yeah.
And then gradually you zero in on that.
Okay. So, right. Yeah,
Yeah,
I have a
but-
very violin approach to it.
Yeah, the violin, it's a little different than the violin, but you can see that my thumb is
There's
detecting
a way.
that.
Okay, yeah. Like that.
So if you were doing, let's say, something from the beginning, or
That sounds really great.
so you might,
Yeah.
well, with a sustained note like that, the way I would play this, if I were going to put it together, would be to start here and gradually increase the vibrato and sort of have
With
the
the
vibrato
hairpin.
following the hairpin. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Oh, that's a cool idea.
Something like that. Or you might even save it for as we move a little higher. You know, I don't think it's going to be as effective when you get closer to the end point here, the nut, or the up above, you know, the 12th fret in this area. It's not quite as effective anymore. I mean, you can get a little bit, but it's not. It tends to be more kind of in the middle of the length of the string where you can get the best results.
Yeah. More resonance.
Yeah, and when you're trying that, if you're going to play around with vibrato, it's probably the easiest to learn, and you'll get the most effective results on the third string.
Okay.
Then you can move over and work on the second and the first, and then back to and you can get some nice vibrato there too, but again, it would be this thicker string that would be probably the most effective. Sometimes when people are trying to do vibrato and it's down closer to the nut here, resort to that sort of thing, a side-to-side kind of vibrato.
Right. Yeah.
It's kind of funny how they use in string techniques sometimes natural and artificial. Like you might call this a natural vibrato, and this is a artificial vibrato.
Right.
There's nothing more artificial about one than the other, but yeah.
Yeah, actually I was thinking, so my idea for the preludes is that, so that in between each etude there would be a prelude that would have extended techniques and would be like an exploration of extended techniques. So like, you know, one being kind of this type of technique, and then another being, I was doing this, I didn't know how to describe this. I was like, okay, it's sort of a tremolo. Well, it's this, yes, but also this just fingertips. Does that work well with your nails though? Or I mean, this one?
So you're going?
Yeah, kind of sideways. And then doing this too.
Probably make it work.
Yeah. Does it shred your nails?
Not particularly, not as much as that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the times when we do like the Raschiato things, the triple strum and so on, a lot of the reason why it's kind of harsh on the nails is because the nails are coming into the top.
Oh, okay. So if you
we're rubbing
keep
it
not so much
around
the strings.
Okay. I think they're about the same hardness as the nails.
Oh, yeah, right. Well, and
different.
yeah, and then another technique I thought of using is the bends.
Bends.
Yeah. And then glissandi. So just very impressionistic. So I've improvised a bunch of them. I haven't tried writing them out because it'll take some special notation.
Right. Yeah.
To indicate like almost more of a graphic notation to do that. But yeah, and then in between these like finger exercises.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then the other one, which harmonically is maybe a little too similar to the first one we looked at, but has a different rhythm and right hands. I was working with, so the index, that part, and then for this part, let's see if I can get this. So it's supposed to be loud.
You might want to put something to clarify that you're going down.
Oh yeah, actually I hadn't. Oh right, just some down strokes.
Yeah.
As opposed to like that.
Or you could actually
do that instead,
do a little thing, a note at the end saying these other possibilities with this you could do. So there's all sorts of different variations you can do on that, which will be kind of useful. Even to the extent of trying other
fingers,
just get all the fingers.
Yeah, I thought about doing this like.
Yeah.
Because just the difference between hitting it with the nail and the pad of the finger.
Yeah, but you might put, just like we were talking about with the other etude, sort of a catalog of
different ways
possibilities.
of trying it.
And maybe even saying, well, you don't even have to stick with these, you could try whatever you want with this and play around with lots of different things with that. Because they're, playing with the nails, there's also the possibility of brushing with the fingertips.
Yeah, that's really gentle, yeah.
Or even brushing with the palm
cool.
Yeah, something like that. You know what you might do then is just have the prelude that comes before, each one being a catalog of the extended techniques.
Yeah.
That would be kind of really cool.
You mean, sorry, what do you mean?
Of the extended technique, or of the techniques that you could use in the etude that follows.
In the etude that follows.
Right, so doing something with all the different kinds of techniques you could use, and then you incorporate one.
And then incorporate them. Oh, yeah, that's a cool idea. That would make it more integrated. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I would go so far as to have like specific directions and say you have to play it this way. It's more like here's some suggestions for how you could do it.
How you could do it, yeah. Yeah, I'll have to see. Well, and then in terms of left-hand patterns, so obviously in the first one I'm doing, just one finger on one string. Yeah. And then I was thinking, 2 fingers on 2 strings and then 2 open strings. And actually that and the other one are the same. That's what makes them harmonically so similar. But then I was thinking like maybe I should do 3 fingers on 3 strings and an open string, or maybe the outer strings, and the 2 open in the middle.
And you can take that just in terms of a shape from a purely
like just
the idea of just a shape.
Yeah.
Or you could do like all the different practical intervals, right? So have your unison, your second, major second.
Yeah, that's a cool idea.
Third, fourth, tritone. So you actually play around with all those different kinds of
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Obviously, in the like traditional Western music or whatever, you'd be looking at a lot of thirds.
Yeah.
So the minors, major thirds, or if you're doing across strings, the major 6, minor 6. Because those are the ones you kind of hear all the time.
Right. Yeah, that's why I was sort of enjoying the tritones in fourths.
Okay, right, sure.
Well, I just like this like creepy crawly, you know, kind of
right,
phenomenon,
yeah.
up and down
Yeah.
the strings like that.
Yeah. Another thing that is an exercise that I can't remember where I ran across this, but it was a sort of a classical guitar conception. The idea that you play this sort of thing, which is I'm like a major 7th voicing. And then move one finger down.
Yeah.
Another.
Yeah.
And down to the next
major 7th. Yeah. Yeah. So is it like that? No.
You have it backwards, but that would work too.
Oh.
Yeah, so that would be.
That's what I put in
There's
my
lots of
piece.
tritones in there, but
Okay.
yeah, but that's another.
Mistakes are the best thing.
Another obvious shape. Or sometimes what I'll do is a technical exercise is do that and then.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Reversing it like
Yeah.
that.
It sort of feels good to do that.
Yeah, and that's a really good exercise for getting
And then-
your fingers
and then-
comfortable on that.
Oh, and then you
I just reversed. I just did a mirror image.
like that?
Yeah.
And then next fret.
Yeah. That might be an easier one to do it first with 3 fingers rather than 4.
Right.
And actually with 3.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I have to read that one.
That's borrowed from, you heard of Johnny Smith?
Uh-huh.
He's a big jazz guitarist back in late 50s, early 60s. Actually, some cool stories about him. I met him once.
Oh.
Because he was Mike Christiansen, who in my undergrad, he studied with Johnny Smith, and so he managed to get him out to come out to play a concert at USU. And he was living, I don't even know if he's still, I can't imagine he's still alive, but he's living in Colorado Springs, so he retired from the music business and moved to Colorado Springs and started a music store.
Oh,
there. But
okay.
he's like one of the great jazz guitarists.
Cool.
Anyway, his I learned it as scherzo. It was called scherzo, but I think when he recorded, he called it Wally's Waltz, and it's it's a lot of those kind of shapes.
Yeah. Right. There's something very satisfying about doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. And it helps you get familiar with the keyboard or the fretboard.
Yeah, Johnny Smith. I couldn't believe how he was playing. You know, and he would try to run. It was just like the most amazing run you could imagine. And then he'd kind of like, oops, I got too much lasagna for dinner. It's just kind of funny. But anyway, he wrote, I think the most famous tune he wrote was called Walk Don't Run, which is a surf band called The Venture. You probably heard it.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
so he
that
wrote
sounds familiar. Yeah.
And I also like the story he told of, he was playing, they were doing maybe a recording or something of Schoenberg's, I think it's Serenade. He wrote a Serenade, but it has a guitar part.
Oh, okay.
And it's kind of weird because he wrote it in actual pitch, so it's in bass clef.
Oh,
so,
that's weird. Okay.
And so Johnny Smith tells a story about he was late doing some jazz sets in the middle of Manhattan, right? And then he has this early morning call to do this recording session, and he gets there and he's kind of all groggy, and I forget who the conductor was. I think it was the conductor before Leonard Bernstein. But anyway, very impressed with Johnny Smith because Johnny Smith knew that if a conductor pointed at you, you had to play something. But his method, his guitar method, is actually written in bass clef.
Oh.
So he wrote it in actual
Joe
pitch.
Smith or
Johnny Smith.
Johnny Smith. Sorry, Johnny Smith. Yeah. Oh. Why did you do that?
Because that's the actual pitch.
Yeah, but just for,
I don't know why.
just because
To-
you
just to
think,
make
does he
it
think it should be that way? Or?
Maybe to make
Yeah.
it incomprehensible, except somebody who wants to be like totally dedicated to learning an actual pitch.
Kind of a elitist thing. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's kind of cool. So did you want to try to plug that in?
Oh yeah, I did. Well, first let me ask you about.
Okay.
So it's not doing it as much today, but what is that? Is it the bridge? Is it the?
Let me see.
It's like rattling. It only happens when you play loud.
Yeah, I hear a little bit around there. Seems to go way up there. I think really the answer is, I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure if that's with the design of the top, because it looks like the bridge is pulling up a little bit there. See that? Yeah, it's sort of going back this way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Does it need to be adjusted?
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's the way that. Yeah, I don't know. I can't imagine that distortion in the top would be. Right, because it seems like it's pulling away.
It does sound like it's coming from that end of the instrument.
But anyway, to fix that, what you would need to do is probably raise the saddle on this end. I hear it a little bit over there.
Yeah.
So it might not hurt to just raise the saddle a little bit all the way. And it looks like something has happened already. I'm not sure if that's the pickup. If that's the pickup, then you might have to have somebody do something with that.
Do you think Derek McDonald works on guitars and ukuleles? Because he's
I don't
here.
know if he does. I don't know if he does.
He's a good
It wouldn't hurt to
Yeah.
call him and ask about
Yeah.
that. But I think that the fix to get that buzz to go away would be to either get a new saddle or put something underneath the saddle to raise the height.
So this is the saddle?
And the saddle is this piece right here.
Oh, I thought that was, you don't call that the bridge. Okay.
No, the bridge is the whole.
Oh, okay. I see, that's the saddle.
Yeah, and this is the
Okay.
bridge saddle. So, if this is what I'm looking at, that little strip down there, if that's the pickup, then you probably would want to just maybe have somebody make a new saddle for you.
Okay.
That would be a little bit higher
A little
than this
higher.
saddle. So you
So it wouldn't
have raise the height
yeah.
just a tiny bit. Because that's the sizzle that you're hearing there.
Yeah.
It's happening because the string's so close that when it starts vibrating, it slaps against the other
yeah.
strings.
It does, yeah.
And it doesn't completely block them from vibrating, but it makes that buzz, that sort of sizzle.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Oh, it's against the other strings or against the?
Oh, and it's the
You're right,
frets.
The frets, yeah,
It's the
yeah.
frets,
The
yeah.
frets,
Yeah, so
Okay.
if I'm pressing
she's a
down
little
here,
higher.
it means the
Yeah.
strings, there's not enough clearance.
Yeah. It's getting like
So
a
when it
bar top
vibrates.
pitch, basically.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Which, okay. And then, how do you know, I mean, I think the strings are fine, it's just hard to keep this string in tune, but you said like most ukuleles are like that?
In my experience,
Yeah.
the third string, because it's so
Yeah.
thick,
Oh.
it has, and it's the same thickness as the third string on a classical guitar, which is always an issue with me as well, as far as
Problematic,
tuning.
yeah.
So
Okay.
you just have to keep tweaking
How do you
it,
know
so.
when you need new strings? I sort of know on a violin, but I don't know on a ukulele or guitar. I guess.
It's probably, there are a couple ways you could think about it. I mean, a set of strings is like $5 or $7 or something,
You
so
just
it's not
keep
a
on.
big
Yeah.
investment to
Uh-huh.
not like if you get a good set of violin strings.
No,
it's
I know,
$50 or
yeah, those are
cello
expensive.
or
Yeah.
whatever. It's
So,
$50 per string.
But is it just, you just wait till one breaks, or do they go bad, or
If you're having a real hard time with intonation,
Okay.
I would suggest you change them. One of the things that I've noticed is that with the nylon strings, the sound quality sort of degrades over time, or it gets a little more dull, it's not as brilliant, and you don't necessarily notice it because
Yeah.
you're sitting there playing the instrument day after day.
Right.
And so if you just go on kind of a regular schedule to change the strings. maybe
how
that's the
often do
thing.
you change yours?
Not as often as I should. I don't know, maybe once every 8 weeks is what I do.
Oh, wow, that's a lot more often than I thought. Okay, okay.
Yeah,
So
it actually,
just get
if you
some-
think the strings
yeah.
are old and you just
Uh-huh.
put on a new set, sometimes it's amazing the difference.
The difference.
Right.
Well, I was wondering because I was having a lot of trouble tuning the other day, but then I don't know, I just, then it didn't seem to the next day, so I didn't worry about it, but,
Yeah, I always,
Yeah.
I have, well, not always, but some days I
Yeah.
have just bad tuning days.
I know.
Where
It's like a bad
my
hearing.
ears are not working.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, but, okay. Okay, yeah, let's plug it in.
So, we can plug it in first in here. And just see what kind of a signal we're getting in. All right, let's do this. So, input one, we'll create a new track here. Okay, we want input two.
Okay, then we just go ahead and plug this in.
Okay.
Okay, let's go ahead and play something. Let's see. So it looks like we're getting a signal. Okay, now I'm gonna just turn it on and amplify it, and you can go ahead and keep playing.
It sounds percussive.
Yeah, I love it, that kind of percussive sound. It's kind of hard to judge the sound when you're playing it and listening to the sound coming out of the amplifier as well. But if we just record a little bit of it,
It'll sound, okay.
we can hear it, and I can give All right, so this is what it sounds like through the. Oh, I didn't turn on the line here.
It's a little covered, doesn't it?
Yeah, those undersaddle pickups will have that sort of sound. They sound kind of quacky
Oh,
a
okay.
little bit. So
What is your?
this one has it's called an undersaddle or contact pickup. So underneath here and here, just right behind the bridge plate, are two little things that look like little discs, which are essentially contact microphones.
Oh, okay.
And so if I
So
plug,
it's not under.
it's not under the saddle, so it gets the sound of the entire soundboard plus the sound of the string. So let me just pull that out here and you can compare.
Yeah.
So record a little bit of that. So this sound,
Oh, that's much better. Yeah. Can you change the type?
yeah.
How do they do it?
I don't know how you would do it on that with the F holes.
Oh, yeah.
Because you had,
'Cause it
what
doesn't
I had
have-
to do is I
yeah.
had to take off the strings.
Uh-huh.
I did this myself. I was pretty
Yeah,
proud.
right.
I was pretty
You told
proud of
me, yeah.
myself that I did it. I looked YouTubed it and looked it up. And, but you have to be able to reach in underneath
Yeah.
there. And what they recommended, I tried it with tape before. So the company that makes the pickup that I used on this is called K&K. Pickup, and there's a pickup that's specific for uke. It's called the Aloha Twin or something like that. So what they want you to do is you take on your fingertip, you hold the contact, and like you feel around where it is underneath there, and then you press it up with double-sided tape. And I tried that, and then it fell off, and then I did their other method, which is they recommend, okay, super glue.
Oh,
So
okay.
they say you have a little super glue
Just
on
a
there,
little, yeah.
and then you have to have a finger, they call it a finger cut. It looks like a little the end of a rubber glove or a condom or something, and you put that, so you're holding that, and you put it under there, and then when you let go, it stays on there. But because you've put a little glue on the back so to position it to hold in place, and you kind of feel around, you stick on the one, and then it's a permanent
Okay, so that's what you
installation.
did.
But I just don't know how they
Maybe
probably
there's
have
a tool,
something.
yeah.
I would imagine.
Like for a violin, they have
Actually,
tools
call,
like that.
actually ask Derek about that, because I'm
Yeah.
sure he would know.
Right.
Because setting the sound post in a violin is something where you have to have the tools where you
Yeah.
are able to reach in there.
Yes,
you know,
yeah,
in the
exactly.
F-holes
That's what
and
I'm
stuff.
thinking of, is one of those things, yeah.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
can totally change that out
Yeah, oh, I see the little wire.
if you wanted to.
Okay,
So the
yeah.
pickup I bought was
Yeah.
about $60, $70, I think.
Okay. Huh, okay.
Yeah.
Well.
What's nice about it is it not only picks up the sound of the strings, it'll pick up all the sound of
Yeah.
the body as well.
Right. Nice.
Yeah. So
that's much
and
better. Yeah.
and the I'm not sure how to pronounce that. The piezo electric pickup which is what's underneath the saddle that converts the vibrations into electricity. Those tend to have the word I
tinnier.
often use is quacky. It's kind
Yeah.
of quacky sound. It's not. Yeah, it's not.
Okay.
It's sort
So
of
that's
brittle
what this
kind of
little
sound. That's what
thing
that
is,
is.
yeah,
That's
okay.
what. And in fact, on my other guitar, the guitar I've used for a long time, that has one of those in there, and I struggled forever with. They have all sorts of products like preamps and things that are designed to make it sound more natural than what it
Then how it
than that
starts.
quacky sound.
But
Yeah,
then
so,
it's like, why
so
don't you just get a different type of...
that's what I finally figured out. It only took me 20 years to do that. It was like, why don't you just get another pickup that
That
works
actually
better?
contact mic, yeah. Yeah, I've heard bad things for violin for the piezo mics, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I think a lot of the violin pickups that you see people have are the same sort of setup. Maybe made by the same company in some cases. So it's essentially a contact mic that you might stick on the bridge or whatever. It's a much more natural sound. So I have no problem with this one, plugging in and just recording direct from from the unit.
But as far as just amplifying, it's probably fine, right?
Yeah, it's fine if you put a little reverb on it and you don't particularly care if it's fine that it sort of sounds like a uke. That's good. If it's fine that the sound's not quite exactly what you want, it's not going to be as rich as. Of course, the best thing to do, because that has a really nice sound if you're playing it straight. So if you want to record it, you wouldn't want to plug it in.
You just
put a
do it.
microphone front.
Yeah, right. Actually, you could amplify it that way too.
Yeah, you could do that. You just have to be careful about anytime you're amplifying a live instrument with the feedback and so on. That can be kind of problematic if you expect the performer to be able to hear themselves and to have the audience hear it as well.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, it seems like and you might play around if you were gonna. Well, you know what we could do. Let's try this as well. We just grab. Well, I guess we can just plug it into this amp.
Okay. What kind of amp is that?
This is just like a Fender Mustang. It's a electric guitar amp, so it's not particularly designed for an acoustic guitar or a uke, but you can use it. I mean, we could plug it in and get an idea of what would sound like through that. So put this out here.
What brand of kit is this?
I don't know.
Okay.
Just
You just call it an instrument.
well, the kind of
Yeah.
is a quarter inch.
Oh, well, it's a quarter inch, but it's instrument cable. That's the word for it. Okay.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I'm curious whether it was my amp or my cable or what was making the problem with me.
Go ahead and try
Yeah.
this.
So you're putting any effects on it?
No, not really too many effects on it right now. Let's see. And you could put, let's see.
I
Just
don't
as a
know.
volume and tone control.
Oh, yeah, so wasn't sure what you do with that. Do I turn it down? Did I just turn it up? So what is this? Why is there? I don't know what those are.
That looks like that would be to pull out a battery.
Oh, it's a battery.
So it's
Okay.
a 2032.
I keep
Yeah,
that.
so that's kind of nice. I like that better than the 9-volt batteries that sometimes, like mine, my guitar, and one of my Ukes has a 9-volt battery, which is bigger and a lot more cumbersome than this. I
Right.
sort of like that. That's,
Yeah. Gotta keep
So
it
yeah, just don't
small children.
Right, yeah, that's right. Yeah,
So
so that
that's
does have an
what's,
active pickup in there.
Okay, that's what's powering the.
Right, yeah, sometimes those are passive, sometimes they don't have
Yeah, I was,
pickups and you have to use an external preamp.
but the fact that it's working means.
So is your
that
volume all the way up?
I don't know which way is up.
Oh, there it is. Oh, there it is.
Oh, I see, okay. And then what's the tone?
The tone would be, I think full on, whatever way is all the way up would be more trebly sound, and then as you back it off, it's gonna be a little more muffled.
I don't hear a difference, do you? This is all the way up? Oh, yes, I do, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so the tone control would give you a more muffled sound.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
cool, okay. Never dealt with electric instruments before.
You know what we might try to do though? So I don't think when we recorded it just a second ago, we had the volume all the way up.
Oh, yeah,
So maybe we try
Okay.
that and see if that makes a difference in
the volume
sound.
on the uke.
On the uke itself,
Okay.
yeah.
All the
so-
way up?
Yeah, try it all the way
Okay.
up and just see what happens. Yeah, it looks like,
Oh, that
That's a
sounds
better
much
sound.
better, yeah, okay, that's good to know.
yeah, I didn't use that maybe for a
Yeah.
lead line. I don't know if I'd use it for strumming or anything. Yeah, you're still not gonna get any extended techniques.
Oh.
So, yeah, because it's only that pickup will only pick up the sound of the
Of
strings.
the strings, okay. Okay, because in your recording of No Fascist USA, I mean, that was what made it so amazing, when.
Right, yeah, because the pickup was
really-
able to.
Yeah, made it sound
to
like a
get
big drum.
get that
Yeah,
thump.
yeah, so, cool.
I'm gonna use that for my vlog. In fact, I actually took that part of it, cut it out here. So I'll probably take that little bit. Put it-
And use it as your,
Yeah, as a flashback in the vlog. I got a comment on that. I saw it this morning. It was a hater comment.
On which one?
No Fascist USA.
Oh, I was fully expecting that.
Somebody said geek, so it wasn't like a full-on hater comment. But
Geek like,
Yeah.
oh, I was thinking of the political comments, okay.
well, not yet, but we'll see. Maybe we'll get.
That's
some.
why I wanted to put I mean, I don't want negative comments necessarily, but I did want the program note on there because.
Yeah, so
like-
people could
like,
go back and.
There's a reason,
Yeah, because the uke's such a happy instrument. Now you're being all political with it. And
I
everything
know,
else. It's
that's
funny.
right. Unexpected.
But
Yeah.
what I've heard is if you don't have haters,
Then you're
you
right.
You should
Yeah,
welcome
go for the haters,
Welcome
yeah.
the haters. So
Yeah.
I guess it's cause for me to celebrate this morning.
Right.
So I got a hater comment.
That's funny, so, cool. Well, let's see, I was trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to ask you about. I guess, so in this one, I put, there's or no, not this one. Three. There's a middle section that is strummed, and I had just decided whether I wanted it like or I guess that's what I meant. Or with the P too. I'm not very coordinated. Is that, am I doing it right? Okay. I'm not playing the notes that are on the page, but.
Yeah, they'll play already.
Okay.
And, so. So that's the difference in the sound.
Right.
A little more of an
So
attack
a little
to it.
more brittle, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the sound.
Yeah. It's not too dramatic, I guess, but
Yeah.
well, it is.
Yeah, you might try it before doing the raschetto with all the fingers. Just try with the index finger, try to explore what kind of sound you can get with that. You might consider a lot of times with the uke, people say the sweet spot is more up with the neck and the body kind of together. There's more
Oh.
here, more
Empty.
what we might call, we might say tosto.
Tossed
A
out.
tosto kind of
Yeah,
sound.
okay. Oh, yeah. That
It's
ring.
a little sweeter sort of a sound.
Yeah. Putting the thumb in takes some effort, but
One of the things I've noticed with the thumb is if you can keep it out this way a little more.
oh,
So instead of having it kind of behind,
Oh.
it would naturally sit behind the fingers like that.
yeah.
If you're out a little more like this.
Oh.
So from your perspective, as you're looking down at your hand. Yeah. It's like-
Oh, that feels very different.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because what happens is if your thumb is here,
Yeah,
you inhibit the motion of the thumb and
yeah,
fingers.
okay, so,
So if you're out here like that.
yeah.
Yeah, so you might practice, with whatever the chords you're playing, or even just. Yeah. By the way, this is true with the other kinds of raschetto things like triplet strums and things like that as well. So if you're out like this, see how my thumb is out to the side,
Yeah,
like that.
right, like,
Trying to go for the camera is easy. Yeah, so like that. So from your perspective, as you're looking down at your hand, your thumb is out to the left-hand side of your finger.
okay, interesting.
Yeah, it might help to do that, or you might have to do that, allow your wrist to drop and rotate slightly this way. Right, you don't want it to go a long way because you don't want the wrist to be bent too far because you want the muscles right here to be able to control your fingers without having to turn a corner, essentially.
So like this?
But if you drop it just a little bit like that, as opposed to that might help get the thumb out more that way.
Wait, I'm not sure what you're saying.
So
Yeah.
so if instead of being here, I've rotated around just a tiny bit. It's
Okay.
not a huge rotation. It's just
Oh, okay,
like that.
like
Okay.
this.
Yeah. Another thing, of course, with this, since the uke's so portable, uke, that affects the same thing. So if it's up more to 45-degree angle like this, then your thumb would naturally be out to the side of your fingers without having to rotate the wrist. So if
Okay,
you like that.
yeah,
And in a seated position is when I'm standing, I try to do this as well. Try to get it up at a 45
Okay.
angle like that. A lot of times when I'm sitting, I'm this way, sort of balance it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that allows for that to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you might want to try that. What you'll have to do is when you're practicing, you will have to be very mindful of it at first because it can be very easy to go back.
Yeah.
And have
Right.
it in this
Like
way,
this,
which is
yeah.
a little harder too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I forgot like that.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, but it's all about following through. All about the muscles being able to follow through. And close, and if your thumb's here, just you stop.
Right.
Yeah, you can feel it. Right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and it really, not only is it more comfortable, I can hear a gigantic difference in the sound.
Right. Me too. Yeah.
Yeah, again, if instead of, broken wrist, try right.
Or you sort of fling your fingers out though, right?
Yeah, the idea there is sort of like if you had some water on your fingers
Right. Okay.
and you just wanted to shake it off, it'd be this kind of movement. So the fingers are not, I'm not locking them into place or anything. I'm just letting them do whatever they would do as I'm moving my wrist. Just shaking it like
Yeah. Okay.
that.
So a little looser.
I think this is a valuable technique, no matter what instrument you play, but a lot of times what I'll try to do is drop my right hand just completely down, relax it all the way up to the
Right.
shoulder, so it's sort of swaying like this, and then bring it up from the elbow, and think about that. Yeah,
Yeah, that's like on the violin when you let the violin hold the bow. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Okay, I gotta work on that. Awesome.
All right, well,
Cool.
anything else you want to talk about? So this is, I think we got a good video here.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna, I don't know what YouTube has as far as their limits for upload, if I have that, but I could probably chop it up into,
Oh, okay.
because it says